Good morning. Good morning. Here I am with morning hair. I think I'll leave it just like that. It's good to see you. Pete, I see you on here. Lovely to know your presence is here. I hope it is beautiful. Well, I know it's beautiful back there in San Marcos. Probably a little cool this morning since I saw Pete with a little beanie on. Yeah, 47 or 8 back there maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I like the briskness. It's
Me,
good for a week.
oh, me too. That just sounds delightful. I remember a time in Wisconsin because I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in Chicago, where it would be so cold, and I mean like 3 below, in cabins in Wisconsin, that we'd have these blazing morning fires. And actually, it's not so accidental, probably, that I'm calling that to mind. But I know you guys have a fireplace, and I'm imagining it might get lit.
It's getting some use.
Yeah, that's really
And,
spectacular.
and an outdoor fire last night for the equinox celebration.
Yay. Oh, amazing. Wonderful. Well, we're going to be talking about that light today, actually. So, what timing? Um, and we did a little equinox winter solstice practice yesterday. And one of the things that I think is challenging for us in our practice, particularly in these practices of abiding in the no thing, right? We often experience that no thing, that emptiness, that open spaciousness as groundlessness. And even often, I think more than that, as darkness. It isn't actually true. And one of the things we talked about yesterday, that each of these realities, this concept or experience of darkness, we could even say often we experience it as hopelessness, uncertainty, fear, is an essential part of our humanness, essential part of our vulnerability in this human life. Somebody might even say brokenness, though that's not the word I would use. I would not use the word brokenness. I would say humanness. And out of that humanness, what I think often happens is that we lose contact easily, too easily, with our divinity, with our more than uniqueness, our perfection, maybe, the bright light of the one source, maybe we could say, of Godhead, of, use the words you use. I'm going to stick with the light of awareness because that's been my real experience. That's actually my direct experience. And so today, I see Andy just came on. Good morning, Andy. I'd like to practice holding both. That the unity is actually where the holiness, the wholeness is. And anytime we get polarized, anytime we believe we point too much towards this idea that we are only one thing, and so for this moment, we'll just call it light, or then we become imbalanced and fall into this idea that there is only darkness, we will suffer. By the way, interesting, isn't it? We will suffer either way. Isn't that interesting? Why? Because within the dark, there is always the seed of light. And in our distractedness, in our lack of clear seeing, in our lack of presence, we miss it. We miss it. That light always there in the darkness. And in the light, there is also always the reality of our humanness, our I don't even want to call it imperfection, the realities of our humanness. I think I'll leave it there. Our fears, our worries, our distress, our clinging. And you see me smiling. I'm not saying this with the idea that somehow that is essentially flawed and broken. It's just a part of this being human, and something that I want us to get comfortable with, familiar with, and move closer to than this idea that if we'd only point towards the light, it would all work out. It's just not true. And then there's Courtney there. Good morning, Courtney. Courtney sent me a beautiful blog by a gentleman named Terry Hershey. If I'm saying that correctly, correct me if I'm wrong about that, Courtney. But Terry Hershey. And Terry Hershey is, I believe, a Christian minister, possibly of some kind. But he wrote this blessing for, oh, he didn't write it, he posted it from a woman named Joyce Rupp, or Roop. And I thought, what a beautiful way to speak to the light as these stars in this ever-present sky. And there we were just yesterday evening, Pete outside with that amazing outdoor fire, which sounds amazing to me. We were there watching the Grand Conjunction. And I thought, what a beautiful word, the Grand Conjunction, the Great Conjunction, the drawing together, the first time since 1250 or some incredible time, these forces and realities and often perceived polarities and separateness. And I thought, what a beautiful time for us to draw each together in our own heart minds so that we don't feel so fragmented. And then as I wrote at the bottom, be watchful then of this tendency that we all have, and I have also, to see oneself in some way as essentially void or insufficient or deficient or broken. That no matter what, it's never actually true. And that we have the hardest time, don't we, I think, holding those two truths in each moment, perfect, divine, right from God's source, whatever that is for you, and in the other, completely human, and how we draw those two together in the present moment. And it is there, I think, that our true radiance, our true presence, our most loving and open hearts radiate. And so we'll get ready to sit, and then I'll read this just for a little brevity today, since we already talked a bit about this. And whatever else Christmas is for you, think about it in this way. You know, one of the most original holy days was this winter solstice, as the dark became the light. Before Christianity, before Judaism, before Muslims, before many other wisdom traditions, there was the celebration of this dark becoming light. But I want us to keep in mind and be very careful that we don't separate these into two distinct opposites or poles. It is not true. And yesterday I showed that Tai Chi gram with, they look like the two fish, the light and the dark. And you notice in each, don't you, the seed of the other. So even in the white piece, there is this dark seed. And even in that blackened dark piece, there is that seed of light or white. And this is the beautiful reality of our human incarnation as well. So as you prepare, I'm going to adjust myself slightly here. Feel free to do the same. I'm a little off. In this human body, like the princess on the pea, one little pillow off, and there I go. All right, here we go. A blessing for Christmas. Remember that radiant light, the truth of that light in you. And then, so how do we breathe? How do we breathe if we know the truth of this? The truth of us being parts of it all. The dark night of the soul, said St. John. Being brought by awareness, by recognition, by acceptance, by the holding space of our own heart minds into the light of the day, the light of the dawn. This light shining right through you. Let the star of hope blaze through discouragement, doubt, and disgruntledness. Let the star of kindness radiate through what you think, feel, and do today. Let the star of remembrance glitter in thoughts of good people and good deeds. Let the star of laughter sparkle in your eyes and in your smile. Let the star of joy dance in the corners of your heart that have forgotten to sing. Let the star of patience permeate that which you find difficult and irritable. Let the star of love encompass your heart, a ray of welcome for everyone you meet, by Joyce Roop. And then this quote: do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended, not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. And then let's sit together, holding those reflections. Watch the tendency. This is where we see the realities of this in our practice, don't we? The reality that we fall into one or the other, believing them to be separate, distinct. This is not our truth. We hold it all in the radiant light of awareness. And so finding our way as we sit, taking our seat in the present moment. Begin here, always. Feeling the weight of the body, the sense of solidity and groundedness of the body. We can use that very sense to invite ourselves home. feeling this earthen, soft animal body, sitting here breathing. And then picturing that star up in that morning sky. The star that is not only in the sky, but actually in us. This is what connects us to it, all made of stardust. And with that star, inviting in some remembrance of the good, letting it shine right on you, inviting in and inspiring our intentions for the day. This morning star, the piece of you. Maybe it's an act of kindness that you have offered to another, an act of generosity, of patience, of love and compassion. Maybe it's something someone has offered to you. In the last few days, as an example, there have been many little gifts left on my front courtyard table. Beautiful little moments of love. Beautiful California oak tree sits in my front court, reminding me of our essential strength and stability. Little succulent reminding me of our beauty. See what comes to mind for you. And let the heart be set alight. And then recollecting our essential commitments to this practice, that we practice so as to cause least harm, so as to contribute to the benefit and welfare, and to do so not only for oneself, but for these 7 billion plus beings, of which we are also a part. And as we invite our own presence, so we sit and stand for all beings. And may this practice be of benefit to all beings everywhere without exception, omitting none, awakening us, enlivening us, enlightening us, and freeing us all. Letting those sparks of light, the true luminous wisdom, the bright, the vibrant and radiant open heart, let those flickers of light all be joined here. As we settle into the body and the breath. The star of patience, the star of generosity, the star of belonging, the star of connection, the star of compassion, the star of joy, the bright star of awakening to it all. Each in-breath invites that star of aliveness, that star of awakening. We grow bigger and brighter with each in-breath in which we are awake. And for these first few moments, we simply rest in that light, having recollected the good, having inspired our own heart minds towards that good. We simply rest. We are already enough. And as the mind will wander in its moment of recognition, we are once again enlightened. And we simply invite that light into clear seeing. There is nothing over there. There is no past moment, no future moment, no other moment in which to shine this bright light. And there is a phrase of many varieties coming from many traditions, but it is essentially be the light you seek, be the lamp you seek. And so we embody the light of awareness, this present moment, first directed towards our own experience, just like this. Shining the light of awareness on this body like this. We can shine the light of awareness this luminous, radiant source on the breath, knowing the breath, just like this. And then we can shine this directed light into our own open hearts, cultivating qualities of goodwill, of true friendship, wishes for ease and happiness. Breathing the light of awareness into the good heart, just like this. illuminating the good heart with each breath. The star of patience, the star of friendship, goodwill, touching you. Shining the light of awareness on that open, spacious quality, that sky-like quality of mind. Let the mind take the shape of that open sky, infusing it with light. Where the heart and the mind are joined together, there is this radiant, luminous, continually radiating light. And within that luminous, open, and radiant space, we can invite in that which often appears other, some sense of worry or darkness or confusion, a moment of craving or wanting or not wanting. Invite it in and let it be held in that spacious and radiant light. And there's nothing else to do. We're not supposed to try to make it some other way. We're trying to simply shine the light of awareness so that we can see clearly the truth of our humanness and what is needed. See if you can hold it, sustain it in that light, breathe into it. A moment of difficulty, a challenge. See if we can make space and room. A little bit like inviting that vulnerable one into the manger. We can hold this too. Offering warmth and compassion, that goodwill and true friendship to whatever it is. Unknown, unacknowledged, unseen, unheld until now. Loneliness, a worry, a fear. The sorrow. There is space and room here. And as we shine that light, see what star is needed. The star of forgiveness, of mercy. The star of acceptance. The star of loving kindness or presence. And as we breathe in, letting whatever is there be true. As we breathe out, sending that light. Sending the good medicine, the gift. Your own presence. And then we can invite the inquiry, how is even this a gift? what is needed and what can be offered. Softening the body, breathing it in, letting it be held by your own body, your own presence. That light of awareness shining bright. And then we can begin to feel that this idea of dark and light isn't quite true, that they are each within the other, capable of holding each other. The dark holds the bright light. The light can shine right into the dark, becoming one, unifying, making whole and holy. Whatever has seemed separate, it's not true. We can then even expand and radiate that light further beyond our own moment of contraction or closedness, whatever is shutting down or grip we are sitting in. We can then shine that light on all beings who feel just like this. We breathe into the truth of our humanness with the in-breath. And we send out the bright light of relief, of freedom. For all those just like me who know this humanness too. We're each stars in the dark night. Trying to find our way. And also being the light that others need. That we ourselves need. And in this vast sky of dark and light, we hold it all, offering these wishes of well-being. May we all be happy. May we all be safe. May we all live with ease. May we be free from fear. May we hold both the dark and the light in that one awakened heart mind. Remembering who we are. And all will be well. And may this practice contribute. Just taking a moment and opening that bright light of your own presence and being, including the space around you. I'm going to see if I can, while we're taking just a moment, see if I can find something. I think I have a picture of that Tai Chi. Let's see if it's here. Must have done something else with it. But I think you guys know what I'm talking about. And so I guess my inquiry today, our inquiry together is, what do you notice you struggle to hold? Do you notice is challenging for you to remember the bright light of your own presence, the bright light of your own good heart, the bright light of your own being, and to shine that, to take the time, the energy to shine that on that very quality, that very experience, that very distress, I guess we could call it, in you. And let's talk about that, because I think we're all, especially in this time now, as we move into greater light with the solstice, what an opportunity, really, to use for illuminating, for enlightening and enlivening the things that I think often we are afraid of. Afraid that we don't have what it takes, afraid that it's bigger than we are. And hopefully what we could see here from the practice is that A, they're not separate, number one. B, we know it all, we can hold it all. And see that as we can turn towards it with some presence and some awareness, we can liberate and use everything then, even our own challenges and difficulties on the path to awakening. And so I'll take a sip here, and please come on, say hello, or you can chat. Let me know what you know about this practice and what your experience has been. Thank you, Dennis. I notice my mind telling me things I could be doing, but then my heart says, be quiet. Yes, be quiet, be here, be present. No better place to be. And all the doing that comes, we know actually from that, this quality of first being present will be exactly the right thing to do. It may not have to do with the list. It might not have to do with clean the bathroom, get the crap out of the car. It might have to do with making that phone call to someone you know is in need. It might be cleaning the car just as easily, but we're deciding from a completely different place. And that place is one that is no longer caught or stuck in some kind of autopilot, this idea that if only we could clean the car out, then we could be okay. But comes from this felt sense that we're already okay. And then how do we use that? Right? How do we use that to do whatever it is that needs to be done? And I notice for myself, I have to tell you that my list changes. Actually. And so I have a list of things that might be good to do today as we get ready for celebrating in the safe and workable ways that we can. And that has fallen away to this idea that I need to talk to my mother. By the way, I haven't talked to her in a few days. And it was just as I was reflecting on my own mothering and my concerns, I realized that she has those too. And that I wanted to share that with her, know that she's not alone in that. this idea of being with family and not being with family, and how this is going to be different, but how it can also be enough, even in distance or even in physical separation. And so my list changed as I finally made a compassionate connection to that in me, and also then that in her, and all those others who are used to offering love and kindness in more physically proximal ways. Yes, Caroline, this practice brings us all back, doesn't it? Really back to the essence of what's important for us. And I love this season, this winter solstice, and I love all the celebrations and Hanukkah and Christmas and others, which all have come from this idea of really bringing something into the darkness of ourselves. And that gift, that essential gift that we're bringing has nothing to do with a Nintendo, nothing to do with a PS4 game, nothing to do with, it has to do with really how you then show up. And when we can remember this, then there is no felt sense of deficiency. And when we forget, there's not enough to be gotten, is there? There's not enough to buy. There's not enough to make. It's simply just not enough. And can we begin by resting first in our own light, in our own enoughness, in our own goodwill?
Yeah, what I've been feeling.
Mike, good morning.
Good morning. I feel like I'm falling off a cliff and reaching for the thinnest of little roots that are hanging over the edge. And my fear is that it's going to break, but it doesn't.
Yes.
And that little bit, it's always there, and it does surprise me sometimes.
Me too. And what if, this is an old metaphor used in many traditions, this idea of grabbing for something. And this grab, if we perceive it in any way, then how, Mike, as you're talking about it, as something other than us, as something outside, as some handle. My Joko used to say, stop looking for the handles out there. This life is a free fall with no ground to hit. And so this gripping tendency, if only I could keep this, whether it's a love, a person, health, youth, money, whatever it is we can be craving, peace in a certain moment, that this idea that it's somehow out there is that separation effect. And in fact, when we get still enough for a moment, what do we remember? No, the root's right here. We're it. This is the root. We are rooted to everything. The one big root with, that infinite tree. We could use metaphors all day long, but right, hopefully with some understanding that isn't it in the coming back? I think you said that.
Yeah.
Right. We remember.
The other thing that kind of supports me is, and it continues to amaze me, is my occasional conversations with my son, who, his life has been as chaotic as all, the adults are. And this time it's even more so. And yet, as little a practice that I've perceived that he has, he comes back to it, and it blows me away.
Isn't it? Yeah, I don't, this life is our practice. And so, right, he's practicing too. And we all forget. it's a part of this humanness. It's a part of, we'll call it darkness, though I want to be careful not to solidify that too much. But we also can all wake up to the, wait a minute, there is a way. I can be here. And in the being here, I can see clearly. That's this the concept of light, right? This wisdom, this insight, this illumination, and then also the virtue, by the way, that the traditions say comes from it. It isn't just the seeing, it's the seeing and now being able to truly respond. And I hope you could feel that today. I hope you could feel that sense of there is actually something to bring. It isn't just an idea. There really is a felt sense, I think, when we're fully awake to it, that is so enormous, so luminous, that it holds everything. And Rob has it, and I have it, and we all have that. That's that Buddha nature. That's that clear seeing, open-hearted self that we all recognize when we make contact with it again. And we all forget in times of shrink-wrapped mind, when we're grabbing for what we think needs to be the thing we don't have. Don't we all? Isn't that a part of the essential storyline? We're all looking for the other thing, the thing we believe we do not possess, as if it were, if once we could get it, but we already have it. This is the grand universal joke. It's already yours. Can we get still rather than floundering and flailing to see that, in fact, as Joko said, there is no ground to fall onto. There is only this vast and open space. Others? Here we go. Let's see. Dennis, I can't see you, but that doesn't mean you're not here. I just have a couple people up in my screen. That's just the way my gallery looks. Can anybody else see Dennis? Dennis's cat stepped on his keyboard. I love when animals join us for the practice. There you are, Dennis. You're right there.
Yeah.
You're right there. And so what do we know about this? Where do you need to shine that light? Where do you need to shine that light of awareness? Where do you get claustrophobic and feel like I'm just in the dark?
Nature.
Anybody? Thank you, Courtney. Let's see what you had to say here. Yes. Yeah, this is, I think, one of the most common, what Courtney is saying is in my regret, and actually that regret comes out of something else. Any idea what that is? Of my own reactivity. Yes. Of our human, let's start with the word humanness. In my hatred, in my self-loathing, in my judgment, in my condemnation, what other words could we use? In my, right, distaste, disgust of our own humanness. But if so, that's the reactivity. That is the reactivity. It isn't the mistake. It's not the imperfection. It isn't even the darkness. What did we just say? Wait a minute, part of the deal, part of the whole thing. Where's the problem? What I did with it then. Right? What I did with it then, when I saw the humanness, rather than open and extend that heart, illuminate what is really needed here. What's really happening? What did I do? Blech. I reject, I deny, I push away, and I sever some essential moment of opportunity and possibility right there. Right, rather than what? How do I open, expand, include, illuminate? This is how we become enlightened. That moment infinite moments for enlightening, isn't it? Right? What are we doing instead? We've got a thought about it. We've got a judgment. We've got an opinion. We've got a, it shouldn't be like this. This is my favorite. I shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't be this fearful, this lonely, this angry, this confused. I should be some other way, except should I be? Is that even a possibility? I'm exactly in that moment with those conditions, working with that. Can I see what's really happening today in the practice? I'll use myself. I was able to turn the light on a moment of aggression yesterday, sitting at our kitchen table. We're trying to get a remodel done and we're a little too stressed about it, right? Because now we've got these time frames as if time's a real thing, right? Got to get it done by Thursday because Friday, blah, 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 right? That storyline that we all construct. It's got to be like this rather than how it really is. And I snapped at my husband over him saying, yeah, I don't see it. And he's completely right, by the way. It shouldn't even be something we try for. But I was like, wait a minute. No, this is gonna happen like this. And I realized I was making this holy season about a thing. The thing being to be enough. It was already enough, but I had forgotten. And I went, wait a minute, we got to finish the grout on this thing. We've got to make sure we've got the right thing. This is how we get caught in these moments of reactivity. And can I see my own true desire? Really, which is just for everyone to be okay. And some essential fear in me then that we have to get the grout done for that to be true. How crazy is that?
I actually see almost the opposite. It's being where we're at right now. There's nothing to do, and we're looking for, stuff. We were here last year at this time, and the pandemic hadn't hit yet, so we were participating in, a lot of different things. And this season, well, almost this year, there's nothing to do.
That's right. That's right. It's so
and so we're looking for that list.
Yeah, give me a list. Could you come over?
Right, anything,
Yeah, it's not, but see, neither is more true, is it? It's not true that there's nothing, and it's not true that there's everything. These are the ways we fall into these dark nights and fall into this blissful, there's so much amazing stuff to do. It doesn't really, they're all true. There's nothing and everything, all in this present moment. And again, in that beautiful Tai Chi, we see that they each include the other and how to walk. And I just noticed this moment for myself, and it came on very quickly as I was looking at the kitchen and going, we're going to be cooking and doing some things. And how does this all happen? Well, it does or it doesn't. It's really still not the point. And but I got caught in the grip, but I could see it, to Courtney's point. And as I could rest in it, I could recognize that my simple wish was that everyone could be at ease in a way that's not completely true right now, and also completely available. They're both true. The grout isn't going to make the difference, but presence and love can, whether we're in the same kitchen or we're not, or right. And how to, I think, is a part of our work this year. Like Mike says, how to be okay in the no thing, just as much as how to be okay in the too many things. And these are all simply qualities of mind, aren't they? There's not more or less anywhere. There's what is here and available now, and how do we hold it, illuminate it all. So keeping that in in mind. Chris here, the reality of my own years of contractedness and the losses that followed, continuous, right? The realities of births and loss being continuous, trying to rest in what is now. It's hard. Yes. Does anybody know why it's hard to live in the presence rather than just getting through it? Yeah. Why is it hard to live with what's right here, right now? What do you understand about that? Those of you who are working on this with me. Because we're wanting something else. Or what's the other reality? We're not wanting what's here. It's one of those inquiries. And this is the rejection of the present moment. Not like this. I want all the wall grouted. Not like this. I don't want to not see my mother. I want my mother to be here. Not like this. This wanting, not wanting, this continual confluence. And again, not our problem. It's not in the actual wanting and not wanting that we have the problem. It's no problem. Noticing wanting, noticing not wanting. We smile and liberate through that recognition. But what do? We get caught in the storyline, folks. We got to get that wall grouted, don't we? We got it. It's got it. Or we can't. Christmas will be horrible. The family time together will be. We've got to. It's not looking like it used to look, Mike said. And noticing the mind that wants something else. And again, no problem. Don't mistake the thought for the problem. It's the thought unrecognized in its wanting, not wanting nature that becomes the problem, not the thought. You can have any thought you want. Murderous thoughts, pornographic thoughts, thoughts about your mother are not your mother. Don't mistake them. Knowing a thought is a thought. This is a big part of the practice, isn't it? And for 1 second, but it only took one, and I was stunned by its potency. I was stunned by the potency of it. I mistook that thought for a truth. I bought in. If only that whole wall could get grouted, then everything could be okay. Wow. And that I could see it rather than develop an entire storyline out of it. But I still reacted, by the way. I still had the grip. I still had the weight. What do you mean? You're not going to finish that, right? And then in the contractedness itself, we can shine the light of awareness. We can shine those stars of recognition, of patience, of understanding, of inquiry. Really, one of the most important is to say, wait a minute, can I at least look to see what's actually happening here? And then what's our other work? Can I feel then for myself in this suffering? In this suffering, here we are, safe and well. Our family is safe and well. We have not been impacted in ways that so many others have been. Can I see the nature of this thought, that there has to be something else happening in order for this moment to be livable and lovable and okay? And the answer is no. The suffering, Chris, is always here in the not this, the no saying that we bring to ourselves, as Courtney was talking about, or to the moment. It should be some other way, but it isn't true. It is just like this. And then how you are in it can illuminate everything. How you are in it. These moments of pulsing in contractedness and expanding, continuous, really, right? And us noticing is a little bit useful. I'm going to check one more time before we get ready for our dedication. Yes, Greg, when I remember to take 2 breaths to open to the present, when I'm saying no to the moment. Yes, I try to use all the contractions as best I can as opportunities, the bell of awakening, right? Can I just pause right there at the precipice, as I wrote about this Sunday, and actually create a little space and room, shine a little light, invite that starlight quality of mind to see what is truly happening. My own fear, that human aspect of my being that I do not want to reject. I want to hold it close. And all the pushing away, all the rationalizing, all the you shouldn't feel this, all the you're bad because you feel it is insufficient to attend. It is the opposite of attending to it. Can I hold myself like that child without a manger? Right? This is the essential symbol. Can we bring home and hold close that aspect of our own being? Not somebody else, ourselves. Yes. And so with that, Mike, it's so delightful to see you. Renee, I'm glad that you got to join us today. It looks like it wasn't work this morning. I'm glad you got a moment of break. I hope you get more. No, I'm sending that to you every day, by the way, a little ease.
I'm actually just started vacation.
Yay! Yay. Okay,
Yes.
so that prayer worked.
Yes,
I'm
it was a
really-
very difficult day yesterday, but just kept trying to get through the moment and be
Yep.
better.
Yep. Well, you're there shining a lot of light, Renee. So I've got a lot of true faith in whatever it was that you did yesterday. Renee has been there at Kaiser Urgent Care at least twice for my own family, shining a very bright light, by the way, of we're going to be okay, even when we were really caught a little bit in some essential fears. So thank you. I know you offer that all day long to so many others. It's my wish that we all offer that to you over this period of vacation, and with a deep bow to you, Renee, and to Carrie.
Thank you so much.
All that you are doing. It's a big, big deal. As we all are doing that in our corner of the world, it is also a big, big deal. So let's not forget that. Greg will be here Thursday on Christmas Eve. Please join us. It's an important day for practice. Whatever your traditions, not the point. But again, as we're resting in this period of opening to the light and shining the light on all things, I think a little extra practice is good news and maybe important for us at this time. So I hope to see you there on Thursday morning at 7. And if not there, please join us on Saturday at 7:30. And then let's sit together for just another moment. I'm going to read this one more time. And so establishing ourselves in this very present moment, exactly as we are, breathing in and opening to life as it is, no barriers, no obstruction, no running or fleeing, just opening here, using the breath itself as that transmitter, that capacity and method for dissolving the inner and the outer. Resting back into that open, luminous light of awareness. Let the star of hope blaze through discouragement, doubt, and disgruntledness. Let the star of kindness radiate through what you think, feel, and do today. Let the star of remembrance glitter in thoughts of good people and good deeds. Let the star of laughter sparkle in your eyes and in your smile. Let the star of joy dance in the corners of your heart that have forgotten to sing. Let the star of patience permeate that which you find difficult and irritable. Let the star of love encompass your heart, a ray of welcome for everyone you meet and all those you don't. May we send these blessings, the merits, the benefits of this practice today out to all of them, right through us, into each being, creating that Indra's net of beautiful stars in the night sky, all interconnected, interbeing. We need the dark to see the light. We need the light to shine and illuminate the dark. May we hold them both with love and compassion. And however we celebrate or don't celebrate, may we remember the season of inviting that increased light. May we shine that luminous presence in ourselves and all beings. May we have happiness and the causes for happiness. May we be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we remember and be grateful for our blessings and wish these blessings for all beings. May we rest and dwell in the infinite, open, expansive heart-mind, free from all suffering, and be free. And then may this be a very good day. Thank you all so much. I'm going to just hold up the book. If you didn't see our newsletter, this is going to be our book starting, I think, on the second week in January, maybe like the 12th. Real Change. We're going to start with this one, and then we're going to move to Gregory Kramer's book, Whole Life Path. Gregory Kramer actually was a support to me, a mentor, during my 30-day retreat, and also has just written a book that I absolutely find unbelievably deep. But I think we should begin here before we jump into Gregory Kramer. Real Change by Sharon Salzberg, an absolutely delightful book. We'll spend about 6 weeks on that into the end of February, and then we'll move in the spring to A Whole Life Path by Gregory Kramer. That one's going to take us a little more. It's got a lot of meat in it. But the point of that book is how to live the Dharma every day in every breath, just like today. It's wonderful to see you, Greg and Dennis. I see Courtney there. It's got to be pretty cold out there, Courtney, huh?
Yeah, it's actually in the 50s.
Oh
So,
my gosh,
oh,
really delightful. How
oh,
wonderful.
good.
It's all beautiful.
Yeah.
It's all beautiful. Enjoy it all.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Lovely to see you. Eileen, I see you on. I don't see your face, but I see your name there. I hope you're well also. And everyone, it's lovely to see you all. Thank you all for your practice today. it's important to me and important to others. And so thank you for taking the time when there's so many other things that we could all be doing to invest in this practice and in your own presence. Thank you all. Blessings to you all. Merry Christmas. For those of you who celebrate, I'll look forward to seeing you hopefully on Thursday at 7 with Greg. I look forward to that. Everyone be well. Have a really good day. And I'll see you soon.